Hey guys, so I'm just on here. So part of my routine in the morning is I have pills that I have to take before I put any food in my body. And so I usually pop on YouTube and watch whatever. Well, because of what's going on in the world right now, and especially in the United States, I my algorithm is currently full of people who talk about that kind of thing. Like there's currently videos on my channel about the Trump parade that supposedly did not do very well at all and all that. And so I do have some recommendations for you, but one thing I wanted to talk about. One of the people I follow, at least on the YouTube short side, is I don't know if his name is Hawk, but he has a channel called Hawk's Podcast, all one word, no punctuation, no commas or not comma apostrophes or anything. Anyway, apparently he stitched a video another creator did. I have no idea who this creator is. I've never seen them before. Um, but they claim to be a fairly big creator, and they were basically saying that if you're a creator or a large creator and you don't talk about the what's going on, that not that you're a bad person, but that you basically agree with those things. And so I just wanted to come on here because it kind of made me feel bad, but then it kind of also made me feel a bit like, well, wait a minute, It's like, as I mentioned a couple of times here now on different videos, my channel, I want my channel to be a place where you can come and just relax. I want my channel to be a place where you can come and watch me play games or watch me talk about my life or watch me go explore Exeter once I figure out how to do that properly and all that. Um, but yeah, so like I said, I don't know the person that Hawk was stitching it to, and now it's possible he might have brought it over from TikTok because I'm pretty sure he has a TikTok channel too. Again, I've only been on TikTok once, was able to make one video, and then got your channel has been banned, blah blah blah. And it's like, and I couldn't, and while I was in the midst trying to figure out how to get to work, because I could only record and upload the one video. So, any hoodles. Um, but yeah, and I don't want to ask you guys to comment or, but, this is important to me. If you guys would like me to talk more about political stuff or the stuff that's going on in the United States, please let me know. Doesn't have to be a comment on the video. You can I think I have an email. I have to double check when I upload this, but I'm pretty sure I have an email attached to my YouTube. So you can send me an email. You can do whatever, leave me a comment. That's probably the easiest way. Um, but again, it's like just for the people, for people who maybe are new or people who don't know my views on this, what I think is happening in the United States, what I think Donald Trump is doing is absolutely horrendous, should not be allowed to happen. And, oh, I wish I could remember who said it, but I remember watching something the other day where the person who was making the video was implying that that the Republicans and the people who want a lot of these laws passed, to prevent trans people from competing in sports, that, keep women out of politics, out of blah, 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 whatever, you know, whatever it is. And when I say blah, 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 I don't mean I don't care, because I do care very much, but also there's not a lot I can do. And it's not that I don't care, it's not that I agree with any of this stuff that's going on, because I don't. I think it's stupid, and whether Donald Trump is doing it himself or whether he's a puppet for the other Republicans, whatever, could be a little both. I mean, it's probably both. He's got, now that he's in office again, the Republicans who are like, they're using him to get their laws passed. But also at the same time, I truly believe that that he feels the way that he does. And it's just coming out more as his mental capacity decline, because he is an old man. I mean, my gosh, they were picking on Joe Biden for years about, his stuttering over words and stuff like that. Like, none of us have ever done before. I've stuttered over words. And it's because I'm not really a huge fan of speaking in public. And by that I mean, like, put me on have a bunch of people looking at me, and I know it's different on the internet, because, I know y'all are out there, but at the same time, I just feel like in some ways, like, I can just be talking to myself. Like I said, I know you guys are out there, and I really appreciate you watching, especially videos like this, because it's important. But it's like, number one, I can't do very much about it. I'm over here in the United Kingdom. I'm over here in England, and while I'm extremely thankful that the solicitor that we hired helped get me over here before all that started happening. Because can you imagine me trying to get a visa to get out of there after everything went down? With all the crap that people are having when they go through customs at airports. And like I said, I know a lot of them, aren't white, but I'm a woman. I'm a cis female. I identify as a cis female. And I don't, oh gosh, now I'm hesitating over my words. Like I said, I don't want to say anything that's going to be like offend people or anything like that, but at the same time, it's like, let's just suffice to say, I do not agree with anything Donald Trump is doing. I do not agree with anything the Republicans are doing. I do not agree that there's no checks and balances for him, or that there are, that it's causing so much fuss. It should be, it should be more kind of like a yappy little dog, it's like, Brutus, sit down, or no treats, Instead, he's just allowed to yap and be all scary because, like he does. That's the other thing. Like, I've seen some people say, oh, he can't do much, and it's like, yeah, but that's because we're fighting for it. Because people are fighting for it. You have judges who aren't corrupt and who are actually speaking up and saying, and, knocking him back a square peg when he tries to get over the line. It's like, I want this. No, go back, kind of thing. And I don't know. Like on the one hand, I kind of agree with the gal. Like, we should all be speaking out in some context. We should all be fighting in some way. But then that brings me to the second reason why you haven't heard very much of me. I'm I'm on a visa, but like, I don't know what can cause my visa to be revoked, and like I am terrified. Like, I need to do some research, obviously, but like, I'm terrified that if it gets out, because like, I want to go protest and all that, but number one, I don't know if there are any protests of that sort going on around here. I also don't know if I get involved in things like that, if that's going to affect my visa. And yes, that is selfish. I do agree. But at the same time, like, I'm not a UK citizen yet. And, like, I kind of want to get that taken care of before So, again, like I said, I mainly want my channel to be a place where people can come to relax, to watch gameplays, to watch vlogs, to share if they feel like it, not share if they feel like it. Really doesn't matter to me. I don't really care. And I know that's probably why it's taken me so long to get to the point where I can monetize my channel. But that's not what I'm only going for. It's like, I'm just super thankful that I'm able to upload my videos, whatever they are. Whether they're, gameplay, vlogs, exploration, show you guys extra, that kind of thing. So so I guess I'm just kind of struggling a little bit. I'm kind of like, I get it. I do. I do get it, and it's like, yeah, we should all be speaking out if we can, but then that brings, it's like, not everybody can, you know. I mean, can you imagine people who work for the government? It's like they probably signed non-disclosure agreements to be like, I can't talk about politics, and can't talk about what's going on currently or whatever. So they gotta do what they can, protest in the ways that matter to them. And their way of protesting may be to not shop at the stores that conceded to Trump, like the Target and the Walmart and stuff. And again, if that's the only place you have to shop, you go and shop. I'm sorry. Like I said, I do agree we should all be protesting in some way. And in a way, this is my way of protesting because I can't do it any other way. And yeah, if somebody found this on the internet, like, yeah, I'm worried I wouldn't be allowed back in America. The only reason I'm worried about that, though, is because I still have family back there. I still have parents. I still have my sister. I still have her family. I still have a niece. So 3 nieces. I keep forgetting about that because I hardly see them. But, you know, I have, 3 nieces you know, that I feel I need to keep safe. And so it's like, you know, so anyway, but yeah, if you guys have any opinions or ideas on how I can quietly protest over here, let me know. Leave it in the comments, write me an email, whatever. Um, you know, just like I said, keep fighting, keep going. Whatever way you can protest is good. And don't let people tell you, oh, well, you can't do, you can't protest, you can't, you know, or whatever. Or don't let them say, oh, you have to do this much. It's like the beginning of the lines over here. This is, total anarchy and fighting against every method of law and order and all that. It's like the lines here. It's like, do what makes you feel comfortable. If, I mean, heck, even if you personally write down how you're feeling, leave it in a journal or leave it somewhere online that's locked that only you can access, I consider that protesting because, it's quiet protesting, but there for a while I know at least retail, there was a quiet quitting epidemic where it was like people were doing their job, but they weren't going above and beyond their job because, you know, it didn't matter. Their bosses still wouldn't promote them, wouldn't give them money to live on or whatever. And it's just like, So, yeah, it's like I can't afford to quit my job, but I'm going to stay, but I'm not going to go above and beyond. I'm not going to be like, you know, whatever. And that was me at Target this last time. Matter of fact, I stood up for myself. I was like, and for other people, because there were other people who I got to know who I'd like to say we became friends, or at least work friends, and it's like I stood up because, not all the shift leads treated us well. you know, and didn't, you know, like, I mean, I could go on about it, and I've gone on about it before, so I won't, but in a way, it's the same thing there. It's like, if you can't speak up, if you feel like you will lose your job and you absolutely cannot quit, you know, it's perfectly alright to stay at that job, but just collect your paycheck. Do what's required of you, but go home and, collect your paycheck, whatever. Don't, go above and beyond and stuff. Same thing with what's going on now. If you feel like you can't join a physical protest, or if you can't, record a vlog, or if you can't do that, write down your thoughts, somewhere online or in a journal or whatever. Keep it somewhere only you will know about. You know, we can all do different things to protest what's going on. And you know, and I know it doesn't mean very much now, but can you imagine in the far future, you know, future archaeologists dig up, you know, wherever we live, and it's like, and they find the remains, like the the freaking out that probably happened when the Dead Sea Scrolls were uncovered. Can you imagine sometime in the undetermined future our thoughts about all this being dug up and people posting it wherever the internet is now, uploading it to their hologram or their robot or whatever. And, the robot seeing and talking about that, in between the tasks they perform or whatever. Whatever the future's gonna hold, But, yeah, I want to encourage you guys, keep fighting if you can. Do what you feel comfortable with. And by that, I don't mean be racist, be sexist, be whatever, If you're gonna be like that, just keep your mouth shut, because, it's like, I, you know, I don't want that on my channel. I don't want that in my comments, and, you know, but, but also don't feel like you have to stand up and be loud and protesting with a big old sign and standing face to face with police. I understand how scary that is. And yeah, I mean, I've had bad interactions with police, and by bad interactions, I mean, yeah, I mean, nothing horrible happened, but, there's been a couple times I've been involved in accidents, and to this day, I think it was set up. I think it was set up by the other person. And because I was shy and scared and afraid of getting in trouble, I didn't say anything at the time. But honestly, yeah, Looking back on it, I wish I'd spoken up, but I'm not sure if it would have done any good because the police officer who arrived at the scene was like fully, as far as I'm aware, fully put the blame on me. I don't know if he gave the other driver a ticket or whatever, but anyway, bygones be bygones, right? Sometimes you can't do anything after so many years. I wouldn't even know where to start, especially from over here. But yeah. So, you know, sometimes we have to let it go and be the bigger person, but also sometimes, you know, like speak up if you can. If you can protest, do so. But that's also the other thing that makes me feel better. Like this is not gonna last because, you know, Trump and the Republicans who are in charge or supposedly behind him pulling his strings. Like again, I don't know how much that's true, you know, whatever. But yeah. So I forgot what I was gonna say. Whoops! I just kind of went whoop. But yeah, protest if you can. If you don't feel comfortable, if you feel like you can't, or feel like you'll get in trouble if you do that, protest in your own way. Listen to songs of liberation. One song that I particularly like is from Les Mis. Can You Hear the People Sing? I remember listening to that song. I remember starting to sing that song when I was in certain situations, being treated poorly and being like, "Can you hear the people sing?" And people go, and, you know, I mean, even if nothing changed, I still like to think that it gave people hope. You know, the other people who are working with me who maybe felt like they couldn't speak up or like, like they didn't like what they had to do, but they had to do it, in order to make money and all that. And like that's the other thing. Like a lot of these, uh, uh, I won't say a lot of these activists, but like 2005, I got with this one lady where she was like, I have a large platform, and so I speak up. And if you have a large platform, you should speak up, and it's like, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I want to ask, so are you not watching Markiplier anymore? Or Jacksepticeye? Because as far as I'm aware, neither of them use your channel to like say anything about political stuff. Like they don't get political on their channels. I would say the same thing about PewDiePie, but we all know the big mistake he made back in the day that he's still probably trying to recover from. Um, like people, their content changed. I mean, like Cinnamon Toast Ken. I remember when he was known for collaborating with PewDiePie, with, the other big channels, with Cryotic, and that kind of stuff. And yeah, so And again, yes, some of these people, like Cry, like Boy in a Band, did things that they should not have done. Yes, I fervently agree with that. But I also, it's like the other day, yesterday or Sunday or Saturday or something like that. Every once in a while, the algorithm reminds me of like a giant snake, and like every once in a while, I will get old videos that I watched like years ago pop back up. And that happened with Boy and Band. Like, I watched, and, I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch this. I remember being pretty good when it came out. And I do. Uh, I don't know. Like, it's hard to say, yes, I agree. Um, here's another controversial topic. I do not agree with, or controversial in the sense of, a lot of people still like the books and stuff, but like J.K. Rowling, like, I remember being over here and being online, all of a sudden it popped up on the news, YouTubes, um, that the UK government basically decided that made a ruling that they're going to go by people, it's like by the gender people were at birth, it's like, if on your birth certificate it says Robert James, whatever, then you are male, and if it says Jessica, whatever, then you're female. It's basically whatever you were at birth is birth you are, and always and forever, yada, yada, yada. I don't believe in any of that. I And like it's funny because I'm still learning. I don't know everything about this topic, which is why I don't usually talk about it on my channel because I, it's like I listen to people like Tom Powell, Hawks Podcast, Park Rose Premature, I want to say it is, and they're good. They're known for that content. They're known for, laying it out straight and all that. And, I just want to let you know that I do not agree with any of that. And I do not agree with anything J.K. Rowling is doing. Like, I think she should just stuck to writing books and helping with the movies. I mean, and again, you're a writer, so write, write your books, do what you love doing. I don't have a problem with that, but what I have a problem with is the fact that, and I saw this comment the other day, and I can't remember who said it, but someone, or they were talking about the new TV show that's coming out where they're basically rebooting the books, the whole Harry Potter thing. and all the fuss is going on about that. And like somebody said, and again, I I wish I captured that because that, uh, but they basically said it's like the reason that she's rebooting is because she can't do like an adult version now with the previous kids because only one of them will put up with her crap. And that one of them played Draco. And like I find that kind of funny. Like like he's proving the point that she originally made with her book. That Slytherin is the evil, house. And that he's come on to play the adult Draco, that Tom Felton is going to play the adult Draco in the latest version of The Cursed Child, which I've never seen and do not want to see. So, and like I get it because a lot of people are nostalgic for those books. I mean, I remember I didn't even get through the whole series. The last I remember was I got in a little under halfway through of Order of the Phoenix, and I couldn't, you know, like I don't remember what happened, but I just remember having to give up a lot of my books and stuff, so I think I probably sold them at the half price bookstore. So, but yeah. Um, but yeah, so basically, yeah. I guess my basic advice would be protest if you can, if you want to. If you can't, protest otherwise. Like, I'm sure there's people out there who are making food for these protests. Like, I'm sure these protesters aren't just. But if you know somebody who's going out to protest, make them a lunch. You know, get them up, fill them up a bottle of ice water and give it to them. We don't all have to be loud and at center stage and all that. We can protest from the shadows just fine, you know. But again, if you guys want me to talk more about this kind of stuff, let me know, because I'd be more than willing to talk about it. Again, like I said, I get a lot of my information secondhand, from like when I upload this, I'll try to remember to put some people in the description um, that I follow. And, you guys can go check them out and see who you like to follow, that kind of thing. But yeah, don't feel like you have to be center stage and always because again, it's just like it's gonna be a while. I don't think Trump is gonna give up his seat, considering that he was impeached the first go around for him, and he still stayed in office. So I don't think he's going to go quietly into that good night, so to speak. Um, but yeah. And also, keep in mind, I don't want anything physically bad to happen to anybody. I don't want anybody to be attacked. I don't want anybody to be, you know, hmm? I don't want anybody, I don't want another Luigi incident, let's put it that way. Or Mario or anything like that. I don't want people to risk their lives and their freedom for, you know. I mean, and it's like, with that whole situation, I mean, that didn't solve the problem. Yeah, that caused a bit of fear, but that didn't solve the problem, and the company responsible did not backtrack or start behaving properly because they won't. Because they believe that they're doing what they feel is right, or they don't care, or they just care about the money and they just are like, yeah, you know. So, but yeah. So that's my rant for the day. Not really a rant, just kind of more of a, like, I always feel weird. Like, I never script my videos. Like, my videos are always whatever comes from my heart, or my in my brain. But like, I don't know. Like, I guess I don't know what to do. But keep fighting in whatever way you can. Whether that's quiet in the shadows, whether that's uploading things, whether that's writing a blog, a vlog, you know, whether that's providing a safe place for people. And that's what I want my channel to be. I've said that before and I continue to emphasize that. This channel is a safe place. Like I said, if you want to come here and talk politics, you're more than welcome to. If you want to just, after a hard day, just listen to whatever comes out of my mouth, or watch my videos where I play games, and I promise I will change the game. I do want to finish the last little bit of Booksmart because it also helps in the Reese situation. Um, I'm also very curious to see what happens because if you guys remember, last time we played, we got an anomaly in that our relationship with Stella was good enough so that Stella messaged us last night. So it'll be interesting to see if that changes the whole looking for Stella thing, if that even happens, or if I can just tell Kanika in the morning, hey, I heard from Stella last night. She's doing okay. She's just blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know if that opened up a whole new path or whatever, but I'm definitely very curious about it. But I definitely want to show you guys how Booksmart can help in the Reese situation. And then after that, we'll move on to a different game. I'm just trying to decide which one to play. Um, Whether that's because I have the two newer games. I've Gone Home that I played a couple of times, and Chef RPG, which I'm in Act 3 right now in the first playthrough, but I'm more than willing to start a different one for you guys. If you guys want to do more of it's very fun. I like Chef RPG. It's my new addiction, so to speak. It's kind of what I play when I should be doing other things, but I'm like, oh, I want to see if I can do this, kind of thing. And it gives you goals to shoot for, which is really nice. But yeah, so I guess I just wanted this out with talk to me, tell me in the comments, send me an email, whatever. Um, like I said, when I upload this, I'll try to include at least a couple of the people that I follow on here. That you guys can go and see if you want more political stuff. Um, but yeah, just let me know what you guys think. And, or don't, if you guys are perfectly happy with what I'm doing on this channel, then that's fine. We'll just go on as normal. Um, but yeah, like I said, one more playthrough, one more not playthrough, but one to finish up this Scarlet Hollow, and then we'll go on to something else, because I know you guys are probably a little bored of it, or I don't know. I don't know if you guys are bored of it or whatever, but no big deal. Like I said, I know we're all busy right now, and especially with what's going on, and but also it's okay to enjoy things. You don't have to spend all your time online getting your mood drugged down because you see how bad things are. You know, you can, you're allowed to take a break. You're allowed to just do fun stuff, if you want to. Again, don't completely ignore the situation. Like, protest when you can, do what you can when you can. But at the same time, don't don't feel like you have to have your feet full of the current news, so to speak. So, anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go for now. Um, no idea when that last bit of Scarlet Hollow will end up. I want to try and go, do some clothes washing today, so probably won't be today, but sometime this week. Expect that. And, yeah. I hope you guys have a good day. Remember, it's not the end of the world. We will get through this. And I love y'all. And I'll talk to you later.